Hello everyone, my name is Tom. Welcome to the EV show by Ludicrous Feed Live. Thanks so much for joining us. Today is Wednesday the 5th of November 2025. So good to see all of you in the live chat there. Thanks so much for joining us. If you're watching us live, make sure you drop a comment to say g'day. If you're listening to us on audio podcasts, hello as well. And if you're watching us on replay, g'day, drop a comment as well. Nice to see all of you. Should be good tonight. Lots to chat about as always. Got our regulars on as always, I can see there. Just pause the music for 1 second. Let's just thank our sponsors once again. Thank you to Hankook Driving Emotion. Check out their 70,000 kilometer warranty Ion EV tires. Thank you to Power Shop as well for their EV plans, day and night, depending on what you need. Either free charging during the day or cheap charging at night. And also thank you to Carloop Data to empower Australia's EV revolution. Speaking of Carloop, let's welcome our co-host as always on the show. Hello, Riz. How are we doing?
Hey, Tom. Good to be back. I've been spending a lot of time in the Bonza Lounge over the last basically week or so. And I did escape to come and say hi to you in Sydney and a few of our viewers at the EV show, and then back in the Bonza Lounge and back in Melbourne now. So good to be on. We've got a lot of things to talk about, particularly some of the new EVs, the cheaper ones, the more expensive ones, and some of the more unexpected models that have been announced.
Yeah, that's right, Riz. Good to see that you got a leave pass for the Bonza Lounge. I know you love it in there, but thanks for joining us. Mere mortals down here in Ludicrous Feed land. And it was really good to see you and Roland actually during the Sydney EV show just on the weekend. And we saw a lot of our viewers as well. Thanks for those of you who came up to say hello to me and Riz during the show. It was good. Riz particularly was quite busy on stage, and I was also doing a bit of running around as well and doing some live reviews as well. So it's good to see people interested in the show and getting, asking questions and so on. Roland does send his apologies. He's got some family commitments this evening, so we say hello to Roland. I'm sure we'll see him back soon. Riz, question to you, I guess, what was your highlight of the show? I'm sure you had many, but what were some of your highlights over the weekend?
I think it was just, meeting some of our viewers. That was quite fun. Catching up with, yourself, Roland, Daryl, a couple of the other guys that are usually in the chat, and I guess just having a look around at, the people that are looking at these EVs and those that came and sat down at the stage, as the audience to listen to some of the insights. And we're getting past that early adoption stage now because, throughout the whole 3 days, I didn't get a question on how long will the battery last in an EV, and is the grid going to melt? All of those sort of things that we were used to getting a couple of years ago. But yeah, it was really good to see the maturity in the market and some of the models that were on display from some legacy automakers, as well as some of the, let's call it pretty hot sort of EVs at the moment, like the Zeekr 7X, which I think you were at the live stage. Well, that was quite good. What sort of reception did you get when you unveiled the 7X to a few of the, audience and punters that were coming into the show?
Yeah, I think there was quite a good reception, Riz. You're right. There are certainly, I think there's certainly a wide, varied range of audience, showgoers these days. It's not the early adopters, like you said. Some experienced campaigners looking for a new EV, or the second EV or third EV, but also there are some newbies lurking around as well, which is good. Some of them are a little bit afraid to ask questions because, we are a little bit past that adoption phase, but yeah, it's good to just chat to them one-on-one and get a gauge of where they're up to in their journey. And I did gauge every session I hosted, like who's here curious for the first time about EVs, or who's buying an EV, or who's looking for the next EV purchase. So yeah, I think there was a wide variety of people, which is fantastic. And yeah, the 7X was certainly well received. I think there's a lot of questions about that. It was good to have Andrew or Melvin from Zeekr during those sessions I hosted. To answer those questions, as well as Andy from Leap Motor. We saw the B10 being unveiled as well, and I did a few walkarounds with Andy as well during those sessions. So it was really, really good actually. But look at Riz. I think the car that stood out for me must be the 7GT. I first saw this in China early this year, and great to see that on Australian soil as well. I'm sure a lot of our viewers saw it as well in Sydney.
Yeah, first time I think a lot of people got to see it up close and get a chance to sit in it and sort of see how, there's very few cars in our market that are like that. Uh, I can't even remember the last time I saw a Taycan cross Turismo on the road. So usually you see them in sedans or station wagon or shooting brake. Um, they didn't confirm whether that was going to be coming to Australia. They did say if they could gauge enough interest. So if anyone's interested, leave a comment in those Tom's videos specifically about that car or the walkarounds at the show. And that way, at least Zeekr Australia knows whether how hard to push for that sort of vehicle to get to the Australian market, hopefully in 2026.
I told Andrew from Zeekr that I have never had such a positive response about a vehicle as the 7GT did in the walkaround that me and Riz did during the show. Honestly, it was, I would say, 99% positive and mouth-watering kind of comments saying, bring it to Australia. I'll drop my 7X deposit if the 7GT comes tomorrow, that kind of thing. So, yeah, I think I can honestly say, hand to heart, never seen such a positive response. So, yeah, hopefully the Zeekr team take those comments to heart, and we'll hopefully see that next year. Who knows? I don't have any info, so I can't tell you guys publicly anyway. So, we'll see what happens. Yeah, well, we might say hello to some of our viewers who've joined us nice and early on the show. 126 viewers already. Let's say hello to Richard, who's now counting down to everything electric. Got some news about that as well, so stay tuned about that. And the AVEA show is as well. The Australian Electric Vehicle Association conference is also on the few days before the EE show comes on too. Hello to Sir Necromancer. Hello there. Nice to see you. Hello, Aaron Crofts. Hello, Jim. Yes, I saw Jim as well at the show. Hello. Nice to see you. Hello, Mike Coots. Mikoots. I keep getting your name wrong. You did say hello to you, but yeah, hello there, Mikoots. Mick, he went to the EV show in Sydney, met Tom and Riz. Absolutely, yes. Thank you. Nice to catch up with you there. Hello, Gary. Hi from Melbourne. Nearly a 2 EV family. That's great. Hello, Andrew. Nice to see you. Hello, Midge from Team Seal. Go Team Seal. It's been a great day in Sydney. Very nice weather. Hello, Lewis. Nice to see you there. And everyone else who's joined us nice and early too. So many comments, Riz. It's so good to see you. Hello, Gaffer. Nice to see you there. Give us your comments about the Sydney EV show. Leave that in the chat, whether you were there in person or whether you watched our videos and just, what was your general impression? What was your favorite car that you saw in the video or in person? Great to see your thoughts there. Hello, Strolling Sydney. Hello, Siam. Yeah, great. Thanks for everyone for joining us tonight. All right, let's just talk about the next show coming up, actually, which is the Everything Electric show in 2 weeks' time. So, we do have a ticket offer in the comments section, so leave that if you want to get some tickets. I've got a Ludicrous Feed ticket offer. I think it's 20% off currently, so check out that link in the video description below. But we are also giving away some tickets tonight as well. 5 double passes for you guys to win. So all you need to do is actually do a hashtag everything in the chat. So just hashtag everything, 1 entry per viewer. Just a little reward for you guys for joining us live. And just be honest, if you're in Melbourne, try obviously enter. But if you're not in Melbourne or if you can't make the show, try not to enter. Leave it for someone else who can enter the show. Or go to the show rather. So hashtag everything. We'll draw a few tickets tonight. So 5 double passes for the Everything Electric show in Melbourne. First time in Melbourne, Riz, debut, which is good to see.
Yeah, that's right. I think there'd be, first time's always very hard in a new location. So at the showgrounds, we will see how it all sort of pans out. We do know that Tesla is going to be there. We know that Zeekr is going to be there, but a couple of other brands as well. And, apparently the venue seems to be very spacious. So for anyone that's been before, and a little bit different to all the other sort of EV shows we've had in Melbourne, which have been at the convention center.
Yeah, I had a look at the floor plan actually earlier today, and I'm not sure if it's publicly available yet, but it certainly looks very promising. There's some brands there that may not have been at the Sydney show, and it looks like quite a big footprint too. So looking forward to that. Question for us, Riz. Great to see all the cars at the EV show in Sydney. Question for Tom, between the Polestar 4 and the Zeekr 007GT, what would be your pick? Are they on the same platform? That is a tough question. I think we don't know the price yet for the 7GT. We did have a little guessing competition between me and Riz at the show. But yeah, they're both gorgeous looking vehicles. I would say, Riz, the Zeekr 7GT still pips the post for me between Polestar 4 and Zeekr. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think the 7GT is definitely. I mean, basically, it's a 7X in terms of its underpinnings from a technology point of view. So it will be one of the fastest charging, if not the fastest charging vehicle on the market. Then I think, having driven the Polestar 4, it was it's a really good handling car. The software could be a little bit better. So I guess we'll have to play around with Zeekr software to know. But yeah, I'd go with the 7GT as well.
Yeah, good point on the software. I think the 7X software was quite impressive. So just on that alone, I'd probably pick the 7GT. And if the rumors are true, it could be 0 to 100 in under 3 seconds. So the all-wheel drive could be very compelling. And we know the 7X drives very well as well. So if the price is right, Sergio and everyone else, I think the 7GT could be a bit of a winner from what we can see. But not to say the Polestar 4 is not a nice car. The 7GT could be a nice pickup next year, indeed. Question from Gaffer, 48-month member. How good is that, Riz? 4 years as a member on the channel. Well done, Gaffer. You are a legend. What's the biggest changes you guys have seen in the EV space in the last 4 years? Feels like a long time now. That's a great question. I think for me, it's got to be the rise of China. Rise of Chinese cars. That has been a phenomenal turnaround in the last 4 years. There was pretty much in 2021, Tesla. I don't think BYD had even arrived in the country yet. Tesla, the Koreans were around. Some of the not even the Europeans. I mean, there was some Audis, expensive BMWs, but it was Tesla or pretty much nothing. Nissan Leaf. But yeah, the Chinese cars have certainly jumped on the scene. Riz, thoughts?
Yeah, I remember sort of from memory, I think it was sort of midway through 2022, late 2022, I drove the Taycan. That was probably on the European front. That was what was coming. But yeah, I mean, since sort of BYD started, 2023, we sort of, got to see the Atto 3, and then what was next? I think the Dolphin was next, then the Seal, and yeah, Sea Lion 7, Shark. But yes, with MG was around. I think MG was around in 2021. And they've obviously had a couple of iterations since. We've seen the prices come down quite a bit, including those of Tesla. So yeah, just different price points have meant so many more people can have EVs as an accessible vehicle, which just wasn't there a couple of years ago.
Yeah, so good. Agreed. I mean, and the charging network as well for me has really, really, populated the Australian landscape. Tesla, I think, has really stepped up as well. They've really opened up the charging network to other cars as well, particularly in the last 1 to 2 years. So I'm really happy to see that. And other CPOs as well. Even the fossil fuel companies, Ampol, BP, starting to populate their service stations with chargers too. So it is starting to get much easier to road trip in an EV. So yeah, I think it's only good times ahead, Riz, which is great. You know what? I'm going to reward some of the early viewers who've put hashtag everything and do an early draw, Riz. 15 minutes in, let's do an early draw for
early draw
for the Everything Electric show in Melbourne. First time in Melbourne. Remember, hashtag everything, and we will probably draw that right now for the first of 5 double passes tonight. So let's do that right now. Only 1 entry per viewer. And look, there's only 11 entries, so I've got 5 to give away tonight. It's a very good chance you guys could win. So let's have a look. First winner for tonight is, make sure you are from Melbourne, or at least you can get to the show. Unfortunately, my name is there. I guess I had to put hashtag everything. Matt Dela Cruz. Matt, you are the first winner of a double pass to the Melbourne Everything Electric show. So make sure you send me an email, tom@ludicrousfeed.com, and we will send you out those double tickets for the show in a couple of weekends. I will be there on the Saturday night, and Saturday. I won't be there Saturday night, but I'll be there Saturday, and Riz will be there as well all weekend, I believe. So, yeah, should be good. All right, we'll do a draw in probably about 10, 15 minutes time. So get those entries in, hashtag everything. Let's jump on to our first story for the evening, Riz. So that is the fact that Tesla sales, the headline reads, from the driven Tesla sales slump in October as Model 3 numbers hit lowest level in years. Walk us through this one.
Yeah, so October being the first month of the quarter, and generally first months in every quarter are a little bit slow. That's just the way the Tesla cycles work these days. Um, it was 1 unit short in October compared to what it was in July. So in total, I think 916 Teslas were sold in October. Um, the bulk of them were, of course, Model Ys, and then the Model 3, was 181 sales, which, I had to go back a couple of years to find a month where they sold less Model 3s, and I think we ended up in 2022, when there were some months where they sold no cars, purely because of the shipments. So yeah, that's Tesla's story for the month. We don't officially have the data for all the other brands. It was supposed to come, I think, today, likely tomorrow now. And then Polestar, of course, had a few 154 sales. Surprisingly, the Polestar 3 outsold the Polestar 4. And the Polestar 2 had 10 units, maybe because the 2026 model year is nearly here and it's getting a little bit of a refresh. So, yeah, that basically sums up early data. Tom, sorry, you're on mute.
Thanks, Riz. Sorry, someone's trying to silence me, but no, I will say that. But yeah, Tesla sales obviously tend to increase at the end of each quarter. Hence, as you said, sales will be down at the start of each one, which is sort of understandable. That's the trend we've been seeing. But yeah, I mean, 100 and something sales for Model 3 is concerning, but I think, the new refresh Model 3 with the stalks is coming. The long-range rear-wheel drive, maybe people are waiting for that as well, so we'll see. Probably need to average out these numbers for Tesla. Not excusing the brand, but I'm just saying, for a more balanced, realistic look, we should probably average these numbers out over the years. So
yeah, I was gonna say, and also the Model Y performance hasn't really had any deliveries. I don't expect it to see a huge spike on the back of the Y performance entering the market. But yeah, one other quick point: in quarter three, they had, a trade-in bonus. Like if you traded in your old vehicle and bought a model in stock Model 3 or Model Y, I think they gave you a $3,000 bonus or something, so off the price of your car that you're purchasing. Also, there's been a little bit of noise off the back of the FSD supervised being released in September. I guess October sales haven't really reflected, that. We've got it in as a subscription now as well. So I guess keep an eye out on the inventory pages for Tesla and see if there's any discounting occurring on used or not used, but near new or new inventory that they've got in stock. And then I guess we'll closely follow in November and December to close the year off.
Should be good. Very interesting times ahead. I think some good numbers coming up, I'm sure, towards Christmas. Sim says, I think the facelifted Teslas look great. FSD is here. I'd seriously consider one if I didn't have an amazing seal already. Yeah, there's so much choice, isn't it? Gaffer says, yeah, people have options now, absolutely, which is great. Love Model 3, but it's hardware 3. So that is still a bit of a pain point for Model 3 owners. Still can't access the full self-driving supervised software just yet. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll watch this space.
And then this week has been, just while we're talking hardware very quickly, this week on the social medias of the world, Elon Musk has been having a fair few design review meetings with Tesla's chip design team on Hardware 5. And apparently Hardware 5 will go into limited production in the second half of 2026, with mass production happening in 2027. They have two suppliers. One will be, what are they called? TSMC or TS? Yeah, the Taiwanese company. that world's, I think, biggest chip maker. And I think the other one was Samsung or LG. I get confused by the Korean ones. But they will both be making them in the US for the US car manufacturing. And I'm assuming they're going to be doing the same thing globally. So, yeah, it appears Hardware 5 is only around the corner.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, look, it's good to have better software and hardware, and hopefully Hardware 4 will continue to be supported in years to come as well.
And Hardware 3.
And Hardware 3.
people.
Of course, we haven't forgotten you. We'll keep an eye on that for sure. Yeah, let's keep pushing on. Don't forget to put hashtag everything in your chat, guys, if you want to win one of 4 passes now, double passes for the Everything Electric show in Melbourne. Roland can't be with us tonight, but he did share with us that the acceleration boost is now here for Tesla Model Y long range for a low price of $3,000. Gets you from 4.8 seconds to 4.3 seconds of 0 to 100 if you really want that kind of thing.
Look, the cheapest top spec option I've seen in a while. So anyone that's interested, acceleration boost, Model Y long range.
What's interesting too is that with the advent of the long-range rear-wheel drive Tesla Model 3, the only all-wheel drive Tesla Model 3 you can now get is the all-wheel drive performance, right?
Yeah.
So, interesting marketing strategy there. I wonder whether Model Y will have the same treatment in, 6 months' time. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. There is, just for our viewers and listeners' benefit, there is a Model Y long-range rear-wheel drive that has been submitted to the Ministry of Information and Technology, I think, in China, which is awaiting public, basically, opinion on that car before it gets approved, which means it's about to go into manufacturing. So, yeah, 2026, we might see that, the performance all-wheel drive variants are the only all-wheel drive variants in Tesla's lineup.
I feel like being in a relatively dry climate like Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane. I think the long-range rear-wheel drive for any car is quite the sweet spot in our climate. I would probably only buy the all-wheel drive if I was consistently going to the snow, or if it rained a lot. Maybe that might be useful if the roads were slippery. But I think generally in Sydney, most times of the year it's fairly dry. So yeah, I've always sort of gone for the long-range rear-wheel drive option. So good to see Tesla jumping on board with that too. Alrighty, yeah, Ben says, loving FSD, good. Have driven about 3,000 Ks already. Oh, that's fantastic. A few other EVs I'd love, but FSD would keep me with Tesla. Oh, that's a fair point. And yeah, I think that's obviously the future, I guess. Which companies will bring out autonomy or, high level 2 autonomy to the country, right? Obviously, the Chinese brands come to mind, XPeng, XNGP. Let's see whether Geely bring their cars autonomy. BYD, obviously, God's Eye is... Will God's eye be gracing our streets? These are the questions for coming years. We'll see.
Look, at this stage, if we can get the Atto 1 and Atto 2 here under God's eye with the pricing, we'll be pretty happy.
God willing, that's right. We'll keep an eye on that too. I don't think it's far away, the Atto 1, Atto 2 official launch and pricing. Yeah. So I think keep an eye, everyone. I think it's getting very close. A little birdie has told me. Alrighty, let's do a draw again. I'm feeling generous tonight. So hashtag everything for 1 of 5, which we've already drawn 1 double pass. So 1 of 5 double passes to the Everything Electric show. It's debut in Melbourne, 14th to the 16th of November. Hashtag everything in the chat. We will draw again. We had a winner already. Let me just put this up here. The giveaway tool from StreamYard. There it is. Matt De La Cruz was our first winner. Let's draw again. 1 of 20 entries. Let's go. Make sure you are able to go to this show. Just be honest with us, guys, and let people who can go to the show enter. That'd be nice of you as our audience. Zaphus, congratulations, Zaphus. You are our second winner of the double pass giveaway to the Everything Electric show in Melbourne. So make sure you email me, tom@ludicrousfeed.com, for details on how to get your double pass for 2 weekends' time. All right, let's push on with some charging news. So, Riz, you spotted one, well, at least you reposted one that Tesla posted of a supercharger in East Lakes. East Lakes is, I believe this is at the East Lakes, is it called East Lakes? East Gardens, I think it is, shopping centre. Could be wrong. In south of Sydney, 8 stalls.
Look, I had no idea, Tom. I thought it was in Brisbane to begin with North Lakes. but
Close.
I had to look it up on the maps on Tesla's website, and it looks somewhere close to the airport. So, I put it there. Usually, I don't make it out of the Bonza Lounge at Sydney Airport, but apparently, it's not far. Is it far?
No, East Lakes. I think it's pretty close. Let me just double check before I say anything. If this is the same shopping center I'm thinking of, then it's. I think that's the one. Yeah, East Lakes is not far at all. It's sort of the southeast corner of Sydney. It is close to the airport. It might be a new shopping center. It is East Gardens. Thank you, Gene. Yeah, I thought it was it. I thought this was in Pagewood actually, but they're calling it East Lakes now. But it's great. It's undercover. We've got 8 stalls, well lit, well signed. So that's very good. I'm glad to see. I don't think it's Bondi Junction. I could be wrong. I think it's actually close to the airport, I believe. Let me just see what Tesla's map shows, just so we are all over this before we show you. Hang on. Could be. Here we go. Yeah, so let me just share this tab, guys. So that's the map, East Lake. So that is very close to the airport. Yeah. Oh, look, Pagewood's down here. So maybe it's not the same shopping center I'm thinking of, but it is around that sort of near proximity to the airport.
Check out the pricing. That's giving it away.
That's cheap, isn't it? 41 cents for Tesla owners after hours. That's phenomenal.
10 p.m. to 9 a.m. is 41 cents.
Yeah. Just don't charge between 9 and 10 for everyone else. Almost $1 there per kilowatt hour if you're not a Tesla member. Sim says East Gardens is not far away. Okay. Yep. Thank you. East Lakes is in the suburb. East Gardens, Westfield is in. Right. Okay. Look, whatever it is, it's close. It's good to see more chargers in Sydney. I'm very happy with that. And speaking of chargers, we've got this is one of our viewers who sent us this picture. This is, let me just see, remind me, this is Graham W. Okay, so Graham says he noticed 2 new chargers pop up almost overnight in the Nixon Street car park in Shepparton. I think that's in Victoria, courtesy of NRMA. 140 kilowatt charging, but 79 cents per kilowatt hour, 1 CHAdeMO and 3 CCS2 points, which is quite sensible for that setup. Shepparton's pretty big town, Riz, in Victoria.
Yeah, and these appear to be, I think, ABB units. So European tech in Shepparton. But yeah, I think more charging. This must be part of that national network, that they were received some funding for. So yeah, I wonder how many sites have been rolled out. I think there were 117 as part of the original plan. So they are starting to pop up. But yeah, good pickup, Graham.
Yeah, thanks, Graham. And look, if anyone sees any interesting chargers or even unusual chargers, make sure you tag me and Riz or Roland on socials, and we'll talk about them on the next stream, of course. Let's push on. Now this is interesting too, Riz. I think this is Graham's car, possibly. This is a Ford Mustang Mark E, the red one. So not many of those around, but they are a cool looking vehicle, I must say.
They're pretty good to drive as well.
A rear-wheel drive. Biggish battery. I think some of them have LFPs, right, in some parts of the world. Yeah.
I think even here, the entry level one, I think it's called the Select variant, was an LFP.
Okay. Thanks, Daryl. Good to see you in Sydney as well. Loved your IM5 charging video. Such a great result. Yeah, happy to see that. Yeah, good to see more of those big, fast charging units, 400 kilowatts. I know it's a truck charger with the pull-through, but still great to test the IM6, which is technically, I guess, well, not technically anymore, but one of the fastest charging EVs in Australia. Zeekr 7X just pips it at the post once again.
Yeah. Now, Tom, just talking about fast charging, and generally we like to cover, good news and other things around the EV industry. But one of the fastest charging cars in the world that you and I think, saw for the first time when we were in China in June last year was the Li Mega. And it is a very cool looking car. And in July, I had a chance to sit in the back of one and do a bit of a intercity trip. Really, really cool car. but in the last probably 2 weeks,
Mm.
one of them spontaneously combusted.
I saw that. Yes.
Now, I think it's worth just raising the fact that on the back of that incident, um, Lee Auto did an investigation fairly quickly and put out a recall for about 11,500 Lee Megas, which is half of all Lee Megas that have been sold. Um, it has a CATL battery in it, and from memory, they've worked out that it's not the battery itself. It was something to do with the thermal management system in some units, um, which they have pinpointed as the sort of main cause. Luckily, in this particular incident, no one was hurt. The occupants got out of the car, and that was all okay. But Lee Auto really took the responsibility pretty quickly and said they've worked with everybody and they're still continuing to work on the investigation as to what has been the real root cause. But they've put out a recall pretty quickly as they've identified some issues. So, this car wasn't charging, but it is one of the fastest charging cars available on the market. So yeah, just thought I'll raise it as more of a community service message around, that these incidents are occurring, but as soon as they occur, there's a pretty serious investigation, and at least it's not the battery pack itself that has been pinpointed as the root cause, because those packs could be in a whole variety of different models, not only those by Li Auto, especially if it's a CATL issue, which in this case it wasn't.
Yeah, that's good, Riz. Thanks for highlighting that. We try to talk about the good and the bad when it comes to EVs, so I'm glad you said that. I did see this reel this week, and obviously you got to examine each reel carefully these days, make sure it's not fake or AI. But yeah, it looked pretty legit, and you're right. I saw the occupants jump out of the car pretty quickly, which I'm glad to see. And it wasn't charging; it was just driving, like these pictures show. It was just driving across an intersection. It just suddenly started to hiss and smoke, and as EVs do when they go into thermal runaway, and then it just lit up like this. And interesting that it's not the battery, but still, it's still part of the vehicle if it's the battery management system. Good that Lee's investigating this. Look, they are rare, of course, but they need to be treated seriously. So yeah, again, we're glad people weren't hurt, but hopefully Lee will come to the bottom of it and sort out those 11,000 vehicles that have been recalled. So good to see. Well, I don't know. It's not necessarily just the LFP battery pack, William. I think if it's the BMS, it could be any battery pack, right? Is the Lee equipped with LFP or NMC? I'm not sure, actually.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. It must be a big pack because it is a big car.
Yeah, it's a big car. I've seen those in China. They're a massive people mover. So anyway, we will keep an eye on that and keep you up to date with the story as it unfolds, of course. Yes, they are rare, but they are quite spectacular when these EVs fires do occur. Okay, let's push on. There is now the Big Banana in Coffs Harbour. Anyone who's ever driven in northern New South Wales will know the famous landmark. And there were some temporary superchargers there at one stage, and looks like they might be back, which is great. Because it is a very unique, a very iconic landmark in New South Wales. Let's have a look. So it looks like there's like at least 10, I can see, 10 stalls, possibly more, in the works. It's great because Coffs Harbour already has six at the shopping centre, Pacific Fair. And then there's some more at Mooney Beach, which is not far away, about 15 minutes up the road. There's like 10 there, 10 or 12 there, and now there's some more at the Big Banana. So Coffs Harbour is now replete with superchargers, which is great.
So this is so these are obviously permanent 15 odd stalls. And I guess you can pick bananas not far from where.
Love these spy shots, they're great. Through the banana canopy. That's good. It's actually not a bad place to stop for lunch, to be honest with you. So, And the kids love it. There's like, there's like a water slide, and you could probably spend half a day there, to be honest with you. So, yeah, good to see. Good to see. And it's, Coffs Harbour being pretty much halfway between Sydney and the Gold Coast. And the trip between Sydney and the Gold Coast is now getting faster with better roads. And now with more superchargers, even easier road trip for EV. So thank you, Tesla, once again. Yeah, Lewis, probably not quite in time for the bypass. Yeah, maybe is it meant to be in a couple of years' time, the bypass? But it is coming. It'll make that trip even faster. But then you might have to stop in Coffs, I guess, if you have to charge up. That's the only thing. Or stop in Mooney Beach if you don't want to stop. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Mikutz, yes, great rest stop. Laser guns. It's good. Indeed, Coffs Harbour is a good place. View from the Big Banana charters was great. Yeah, it was good in the past. Yes, that's right. They were temporary. Good times, eh? Good times for us early adopters before they took them down. William says Lee Mega uses an MC. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Alrighty, yeah, let's push on. So now we were talking about Atto 1. Look, I still want to call it the Seagull, Riz. I don't know. Atto 1 is just not the same, right? Seagull is like an iconic name.
Well, Tom, if anyone's looking for debadging and rebadging services on their Atto 1s to Seagull, we might offer that as a Ludicrous Feed special. So in some parts of Australia, you can park a car and your wheels go missing. We might have to debadge a vehicle and rebadge it with a little Seagull logo.
I think it should be called up-badging, Riz. Up-badging to Seagull.
Up-specking.
Right? Up-spec, that's right. It may not be Roland spec, but it could be something else spec. Yeah, but speaking of Roland, yeah, thanks Roland for posting this. So Atto 1 pre-orders now open. Deliveries commencing early 2026. So no pricing as yet. But this could actually sell quite well, I think, for a nice little city car. Hoping for a 5-star NCAP, Riz, or reckon maybe 4-star?
I think you've got 5 stars in Euro NCAP, so expecting something similar here.
Yeah, good. Good, yeah. Mitch says huge Seagull decal on the bonnet, like a 70s Trans Am Eagle.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, Michael, Seagull, I agree. It's got to be called Seagull. Sanders says, Atto 1 might be my first EV. Excellent. Just waiting for the pricing to be announced. Yeah, I mean, there's been discussion on some of the media outlets saying it could be 25 grand. It could be the cheapest new EV in Australia. So watch this space. I can come very close to that price. Perfect for food delivery, eh? Yeah, 100%, Jeanette. I mean, I'd prefer to drive this over an e-bike, to be honest with you. Might be safer. We'll see. Bird poo on the windscreen. Oh, that's a lucky day. Leave that on the windscreen if it's a Seagull. Yeah, William says, go to Taobao, buy the Chinese letter Seagull badge. Oh, yeah, that would be something else. That'd be very special. Yeah, Tony, 25k for the Seagull. Yep, that's right. I'm hoping to. Sergio says, once did the Brisbane to Sydney in a rented Tesla thanks to Tom's videos. That's great. I think I met Riz charging in Sydney as well in his Polestar. Wow. Celebrity. Hollywood Riz. Hope you got a photo. Very good. All right. Now, let's do another draw, actually. Before we do that, let's thank our sponsors for the evening. Let's thank you to... Let's put that up here, guys. Sorry. Thank you to Hankook Driving Emotion for EV tires. Ion Range 70,000 kilometer warranty, which is pretty good for an EV tire. Thank you to Power Shop as well for your EV plans. We've got day and night plans. Night plans if you want a cheap rate. Day plans if you want free charging during the day. And of course, thank you to Carlube. Thank you, Riz. Data to empower Australia's EV revolution. Let's do another giveaway for the Everything Electric show. So again, tickets. We've got a link in the video description for discounted tickets. Otherwise, let's do another giveaway. We've given 2 double passes already. We've got 3 more to go. So let's do that right now. Hashtag everything if you want to get into the draw for these passes. So let's do that one more time for you guys. Let's see who's going to win. Hakui. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Hakui. Hakui, you have won our 3rd double pass for the evening for the Everything Electric show in Melbourne at the Flemington Showgrounds, which was quite utilised this week, I'm sure, with the Melbourne Cup. But yeah, so send me an email, tom@ludicrousfeed.com for details on how to get your double pass to the Melbourne Everything Electric show, making its debut. Okay, great. Thanks, guys. Keep those hashtags coming. All right. Let's keep pushing on. So that's the Seagull and the Atto 2s, as Daryl has highlighted, in the country already, ready to push out. Seen on A Current Affair with Overstock. They love to post these pictures, don't they? These media outlets, these lots of cars sitting in parking lots around Australia. Plenty of Atto 2s amongst the vehicles. We can see there. Some C line 7s as well, Riz, I think, over here.
Yeah, plenty there. A few Atto 2s in between them.
Yep. That's good. Atto 2, we're thinking 35 grand, perhaps. Hopefully less.
Yeah, 35 to 37. Can't be too much further, because then you get into the Atto 3, which starts at around 39,990 plus on roads, I think, for essentials.
Yep. Yeah, very compelling. Yeah, BYD certainly filling up their fleet for sure. How many at Sydney Water Park car park? Yeah. Every theme park car park is getting some of these BYDs. They gotta put them somewhere. Yeah. Again, I think the launch price will be very soon, guys. So Atto 2 could be good pricing. Oh, Sergio. About 35k for on roads from Mikut. Yep. And Sergio saying 1.88 finance at the moment for BYDs. Okay, that's pretty good. In keeping with the 8.8 theme. It's good. Okay, so now Jim also posted this week. What car is this? I think I know what this is, but let's give our audience some time to think. Oh, look, the answer's already here. There's no point guessing. Yes, it is the BYD Atto 1 Seagull Dolphin Mini, Dolphin Surf, whatever you want to call it. Spotted in Sydney again with a bit of camo.
It's got a body kit with like side skirts that are like coming off,
dangling. Now, this is unusual. We normally see camo in like grey or black. Blue is a bit unusual, right?
Yeah, I think that's pretty typical BYD camo, which is there to be seen and spotted. So I think that's its main purpose. It's not there to hide anything.
I do recall when the Seal was kind of under wraps, they used the same coloured camo. I remember a picture of it on a tow truck. Yeah. Lewis is saying that's how my rap skills will look like. Yeah, I know that's me rapping the kids' books in summer for the start of the new school year with Contact. Yep. Gene says, love the Povo Pack steel wheels.
Yeah.
Harsh but fair. Yep.
I think that is the entry-level model with those wheels that work.
Oh, no, surely not. Essentials. Sunil says, disappointed BYD didn't bring the larger battery with the 150 kilowatt charging version of the Atto 2. That's available in the UK. Yeah, okay.
Could be, I guess, price that, is sort of, they think they can win from a pricing point of view with the base spec Atto 2.
Richard's thinking maybe the Atto 1 and 2 the pricing might come out at EE in Melbourne. Yeah, that's not a bad strategy. Yep. Why not? And do the unveil like JQ did at the Sydney show. That was quite interesting.
Oh, yes.
Unveil with the J5 Range Rover lookalike. Yeah. I think the base model does have steel wheels. I'm pretty sure it does. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. All right. Yeah, the MG4 was released or announced at the Everything Electric show in Sydney a couple of years ago, so it could be the same strategy. More cars under wraps. Here we go. So, 2 Deepals. Jim spotted as well. Spotted previously, and this camo car arrived at the Crown Plaza in Macquarie Park. I think it's a Mazda 6E. What do you reckon, Riz?
Yeah, I think it's obviously one of those. Well, I think there must be a couple, because sometimes spotted in Victoria, and then obviously this time in New South Wales. But yeah, definitely the 6E. I think they put out a press release second quarter Australian launch and deliveries.
Okay.
2026.
What do we honestly think about the 6E? I mean, look, it's the Mazda brand, right? We in the know it's a Deepal. Is it LS6? Is that which one is it? L07,
Yeah,
something like that. It's a sedan.
I think Daryl might know. He's a
Yeah.
Deepal guru.
Let me have a look it up. I forget the actual decal, but it is a decal underpinnings. But look, people won't know it's a decal, and it's okay if people know that. Will the brand name Mazda attract more EV buyers to that brand? Right, that's the question.
Yeah, and I guess the next question is, will anyone buy a sedan in 2026?
Very sad. I do love sedans, as you guys know, but it is a hard sell these days, unfortunately. It underpinnings is Deepal L07. That's what it is, and SO7 as well, same platform. EPA1 Chang'an owned platform. Richard says, does anyone feel like wrapping their car in camo just to wind up the car spotters? Yeah, why not, right? Why not? Yeah, Vic plates, that's right, good spot as well. Yep, registered in Victoria. Yeah, thanks Jim for that pick. Couldn't sneak up to take more pics as someone in the back. Yeah, okay, fair. You're being respectful. Don't look too creepy. Are they bringing the Mazda EZ60 electric SUV? Yeah, that could do well actually. Yeah, we'll see. Keep those spy shots coming. Okay, and so Necromancer says only if the car stands up to the badge, people will still buy it. Yep, I guess that's for us to decide, us to test and let everyone know. Okay. Now, Riz, this might get you excited. Honda, another Japanese brand, launching its City EV in Australia in 2026 with noises to mimic gear changes.
Now, if that's what all Honda fans have been waiting for those that know VTEC just kicked in, bro, that's what this is about. This is basically, think of a Honda Civic Type R, but in a hatchback format and all electric. So that's what this thing is, unveiled at the Tokyo Motor Show, expected to arrive in middle of 2026 in Australia. What price? I don't know. It's got to be cheaper than a Hyundai Insta.
Surely.
And it does look cool though. It does look cool.
3.6 meters, so it is tiny. It is smaller than the Atto one, smaller than the Insta. Insta's 40 grand driver, well, before on road, so it has to be sub that, surely. And in true K car fashion, it looks fantastic, looks zippy. I know Riz will get one. I've asked him that before. He'd get a K car in a heartbeat. 2026, that's good. I mean, the Honda E was kind of hopeful for our markets, but this looks more promising.
Yeah, Honda E went to the UK, right-hand drive. So it does. I mean, the biggest thing in that shot is the steering wheel. So Honda, if you can supply one with a Momo steering wheel, which is a lot smaller, there'd be a lot of race K car enthusiasts that would consider one very strongly. And obviously, they are keeping on with that minimalist interior. There's very few buttons in there.
Minimalist is one thing, Riz, but this feels like a retro 1990s kind of car. Like we've owned Hondas, our family, in the past, and this feels like it brings me back to my childhood, or at least early teens when we had a Honda. Yeah, I do like the Honda brand just for what it stands for. So yeah, love to test more Japanese EVs, that's for sure. 35 kilowatt hour battery pack, so kind of on par with the Atto one.
So these were sort of the specs I could pull up for the Honda E. So
Honda
E
right.
had a 113 kilowatt motor and 35.5 kilowatts, 220 kilometers of range.
Yep. That is a tiny car. That'd be so much fun, honestly. Yeah, hopefully we get invited to something like that, Riz, some sort of media day or just to check it out.
That's right. And if BYD, if you're listening, there's competition coming. We need the BYD Racco or the BYD Sea Otter.
That's right. Thanks, Sofa. Thanks for reminding us. Yes, BYD Racco, aka Sea Otter. Very good.
Yeah. By the way, good to see Zofa at the Sydney EV show as well. He popped in and it was good bit of chat in between running the stage, and I'm sure he ran into you as well, Tom.
Sure did. Thanks, Christopher, for saying g'day. And so Necromancer would own a K Electric in a heartbeat. 100%. They are very cute. Okay, look, cool. Well, here we go back to Jim, who says, just remembered on the other side of the Mazda Deepal, there was some camo missing. Interesting. Okay. And he says that, I'll just pop this pic up once again. So this is back on this picture here. To my surprise, it was a bronze color. Ooh, snazzy. That's different. A bronze Mazda. Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully it gets some interesting colours. We'll see. Any news on the Firefly, Riz, since we last spoke?
Um, Not much for the Australian launch, but I did get some insights on the interwebs earlier today that it's heading to Singapore in early 2026. So it's been pushed back a little bit. So I expect maybe late Q1, early Q2 2026 for us.
Okay. I'll have to make another trip to Singapore to check it out.
Yeah.
If it's coming there, it's good. All right, we are coming to the end of the show, everyone. Just a few more stories. Just wanted to touch on this one. Just a quick PSA. The Sig Energy 25 kilowatt charger, which I'm waiting on. I won't play this whole video, but in this video, there was a point here that the 12 kilowatt charger can be upgradable. Here we go. Upgradable to 25 kilowatt with the right license. There you go. So that might be a bit annoying if you paid that kind of money for the 12 and then you got to pay extra to get 25s and the prices come down. So that is the nature of new tech, unfortunately. But yeah, so keep in mind there is a software update potentially coming. Just looking at this video here from Sig Energy for the DC charger, which is bi-directional as well. I would, if I had bought a 12 kilowatt charger, I'd be pushing hard for a free software update for 25, just because we were early adopters, right? So that's something I'd be doing, just personally. And just pushing on with the rest of the show. So thank you, Rob S, for highlighting the fact that there's a new law coming soon. I think that all EVs need to emit low-speed pedestrian noise, which is good. That's no, we don't want that. No, all right. I'm missing out apparently, but yeah. Anyway, this is saying that the pedestrian noise is coming. That must be a thing in Australia.
Well, clearly Honda's taking safety to the next level in the Super One, because not only pedestrian noise, it's noise on the inside.
Yeah.
To ensure that even the occupants of the car are as safe as they can be with those gear shifters.
That's right. And yeah, Lightning says, "Can't we just turn up the noise on the stereo?" Yeah, you could. I mean, you could do that if you want. Or just yell at the people if you really want. The seal is audible in the cabin. Yeah, that's true. A lot of the cars are audible in the cabin. That's true. Plenty of Mazda ICE owners might be willing to upgrade to an EV to stay with the brand they know. Yeah, also true. Yep, existing Mazda dealer network. I guess the question is with the NVES, are these brands starting to bring out these cars for compliance, or are they serious about EVs, right? That's the eternal question.
Well, that's right. I mean, the 6E is Mazda's second EV. The first one that makes 30 electric was not very popular. I think this could be a bit of a turnaround, because if they can sell somewhat reasonable units, which is hard for a sedan, but if they get the SUV equivalent in, I can see them selling, slowly chipping away and getting some of their existing customers that would normally buy an ICE Mazda product to consider an EV. I mean, it could be a hard push, because usually the dealers it takes them a little bit of time to get their head around EVs, because previously we've heard some dealers are saying Australia isn't ready for EVs yet.
Mhm.
But maybe if they are pushed by NVES to sell them, then Australia might suddenly be ready for EVs. So more
Yeah,
options are always a good thing.
100%. Yeah, we know Nissan said that about the Aria, that Australia wasn't ready 3 years ago, which I found disappointing. But yeah, we'll bring them on. We'll review them all. That's for sure. All right, guys, almost at the end of the show. One more thing I just want to point out before we draw the last two winners of double passes for the EE show in Melbourne. That is that Australians to get 3 hours of free electricity every day under proposed solar scheme. So there are some energy plans already out there that allow you to get free electricity use during the day, which is great if you have an EV or if you want to charge your battery up. But it looks like energy retailers will be forced to do this for everyone, regardless of solar ownership status. So that's good and bad, I guess. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, if anyone's got spare graphic cards, I need to get ready to mine crypto between 11 and 2 or 12 or 3 or whenever that is for those 3 hours. So feel free to donate them. PO Box, Bonza Lounge, Melbourne Airport.
And Riz, you got to charge a Spectre as well, right? We know
Well,
that doesn't charge itself, that thing.
well, that's it. I think Spectre's powering all this free electricity that'll be handed out, which of course we got to see the Spectre at the Sydney EV show as well. It's the same one that was in at the June show. So, I had to drive it up for the Sydney viewers to check it out.
Yeah, it's a curious proposition there for value, buying a Spectre for V2G, considering it's $1 million on the road, right?
That's
But
it.
each to their own. Yeah, there are some plans already. OVO is doing it, AGL, 3 hours for free, but this is irrespective of your solar status or solar ownership status. So it's good
I
for
think
those who
this
can't.
is quite beneficial if it does happen. Like you said, those that don't have solar can currently get onto those plans.
Yep.
OVO, AGL, Power Shop, and a couple of others. But yeah, it means even apartment dwellers that may not have solar could get access to free electricity if it goes that way. I'm not sure how far it needs to progress before it does. Those retailers are pushed to do it, but it is a good thing.
Absolutely, and it's just a reflection of the fact that there's too much solar in Australia. Like today, I was checking the Amber app, and between the hours of 11 and 1 or 2, there was 90% plus renewables in the grid on such a beautiful day in Sydney. So, I personally won't be getting more solar. I just feel like that's not quite good value for money at the moment, considering now everyone can get free electricity for 3 hours with so much solar during the day. If you can afford it, I'd buy the biggest battery I could find right now and take advantage of the federal government's very generous rebate. So you can, if you want, either use Amber or just charge up the battery during the day and just use it at night. So it makes sense to me. Yeah, exactly, Tazzy. It would make sense for those without solar who are renting. That's right. Correct. All right, everyone. Let's draw our last 2 double passes for this evening for the Everything Electric show in Melbourne. So 2 more winners to go. So let's do that one more time. Hashtag everything is the secret code you need to put in the chat to win. So let's do our first draw, or 4th draw, I should say. First of 2 remaining. Everything Electric show in 2 weeks' time, 13th to the 15th of November. Let's see who gets our 4th double pass. Andrew Bartram, congratulations. You are our 4th winner for the Everything Electric show in Melbourne, making its debut in 2 weeks' time. Riz and I will be there. I'll be there on the Saturday. Riz will be helping out as well during the weekend. And last double pass, Everything Electric. Let's do it. We've got 5 more passes next week as well. So join us next week for the show for 5 more double passes to win. John Liang, congratulations. You have won our 5th and final double pass for this evening for the Everything Electric show in Melbourne, which should be really good. Send us an email, tom@ludicrousfeed.com, and we'll send those passes out to you in the coming days. Riz, that unfortunately brings us an end to today's show. Thank you once again for joining us.
Anytime, Tom. And I think our viewers and listeners are always participating, sharing things during the week. So keep doing that. I think we're about to get into a very interesting phase when today we've covered probably at least 2 cars from legacy automakers that are looking at bringing in EVs into our market. So yeah, I think more options are a good thing. And thank you to those that came out and saw us at the Sydney EV show. And anyone that's in Melbourne, come and say hi at Everything Electric, which is, what is it, a week and 2 days.
Yeah,
on the
not this
Friday
weekend.
to start.
Yeah, not this weekend, the weekend after. Yeah, not
Yeah.
far away. That's right. Yeah, good point, Riz. Yeah, they're both Japanese brands as well, Mazda and Nissan. So, not Nissan, Honda. So, yeah, we want to see more competition, not just the Chinese or Tesla taking over. We want to see Europe, Japanese, Koreans make it compelling to buy an EV. So, yeah, the more the merrier. And Australia is one of the best markets to buy an EV, honestly. Our prices are pretty good because of our competition. That's what makes our country great, I think. The good market competition and consumer choice. Alrighty, well, thank you, Riz. Thank you, viewers, for joining us tonight. It's been a great one, as always. We shall see you next time on Ludicrous Feed. And congratulations once again to our winners for the Everything Electric show. We shall see you all next time. Thank you, Riz. See you then. Take care, everyone.